Okay, so here we are with the first step to carving out the landform for the gas station. And what I've done so far is just carved out some of this foam. Um, just kind of a rough cut. Also carved out some sections up here to go along the retaining wall and also the side of the tunnel. As snug as I could get it. Um, Usually this stuff makes a mess, but between my special tool and a jigsaw with a smooth cutting blade in it, this seemed to be okay this time. It's not as messy, but it's definitely not as clean as the pink or blue stuff. But I think the next step before I can carve to shape is to get into these cracks, such as the one right here along the tunnel, side of the tunnel, and it's like that all the way around to the retaining wall. And I want to get it nice and snug so it actually looks like it wasn't something I just slid in there, but it actually at one point was part of the hillside here. So I'm going to try that spray foam and let that cure, and then at that point in time I should be ready for the next step. So I have it all in my mind. Now, whether it comes out once this is all complete, we've yet to see. But let me go ahead and get back to that and get some work done, and I'll be back. Okay. Hey, so I am in fact back, and what I have done so far is I did do the spray foam and got it in those cracks that I showed you earlier. And I have done a lot of carving of foam and made a big mess with the spray foam and trying to blend it with the foam that I had put down originally. It was pretty messy, but not too bad. It was all contained. At least it wasn't blowing all over the room. But what I wanted to show you before I get too far along is that on the edge here, I believe I'm going to have some townhomes, and I'm starting to create a sidewalk along here. But I don't have the townhomes yet. But I have gotten the dimensions from online, so I think I'm going to have 3 or 4 of them right along here. Possibly 3, it just depends. Actually, I'm just really not sure because I have some flats that are really nice, and I was just going to build a back to them and put them here. I think they're definitely a level up as far as their detail, but I would have to do the back and figure out how I'm going to make that. But I was thinking of also using some pre-made townhomes by MTH that would fit nicely in there. Those are the ones I actually measured the area for. Also, if you look in the back, I've started to paint this area and put some ground foam down as a basic layer. And before I got it covered, I wanted you to see the beginning stages of that painting and that ground foam, and eventually the rest of this will be covered. Here's my road leading to the gas station. It'll probably be covered as well for now, at least with paint, and then later I'll do more detail to the road going back to the gas station. But this is where I am now. It's pretty laid out, but I'm determined to finish this before the next day, as well as another section. And I better just shut my mouth and get back to work. So I will return. Okay, here we are back with a little bit more progress. Right now I just have the gas station sitting in there. I have to hollow that out some more to make room for the concrete pad that the pumps will actually sit on and for the cars to drive in. As you can see, I've laid more ground foam. The areas that look just brownish with some gray paint Like in the front here, right in this section, this is going to be where the townhomes will be, and the sidewalk, I believe, if I'm still going to go through with that, we'll see. I'm still experimenting with that. I just kind of see those homes coming, being on the side of this road coming under the bridge here. That's what I envision. Now, with my real estate, I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but I'm still optimistic, and we'll see. And then right here is the roadway that will eventually be paved, but it's not right now. But I have gotten, like I said, the second layer of ground foam. Of course, it's going to be more detailed and there'll be trees. But I have started doing some modifications to the actual gas station, just because I don't want to have everything the way it is out of the box. Kind of weathered it up a little bit. Still not sure if I'm going to keep it that way. I was thinking about doing something with that siding to make it a little bit more interesting, but we'll see. But I wanted to get rid of that plastic sheen and make it a little bit more believable. It's really a nice structure by Walthers, now Atlas. So we're going to keep moving along here, and the next time you see this, I should have the concrete pad in, and possibly a start to trying to fit in the actual homes here. So we'll see how far we get, and just keep this thing moving. Okay, we're back, and in that short time, I've decided against putting the homes along the roadside, even though I think that that would have been a really nice scene. But due to my space and the fact that I believe those homes would pretty much drown out and cover up the gas station, so I'm not going to put those homes in the original location. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them at this point, but I do want to put them in a place where they're going to be nicely represented. So what I've done so far with my abrupt change is I've carved out some of the foam, as you can see, and I'm preparing to put a base coat of Sculptamold there, smooth that out. That's going to be my sub base, and then I'll put some type of plaster, probably Smooth It or something similar there, and then try to paint that up with the plywood that's kind of masked off there so I don't get it messy, and call it a day. So those of you that have planned out your railroad or are planning your railroad out, kudos to you, because that can circumvent some of the issues that we have when we're kind of just playing it by ear, and make things a lot smoother. Even though I'm sure you all run into problems as well, it's a different type of problem. So anyway, I think the decision is a wise one in this circumstance, because as I tell everyone, I don't want the layout to look crowded and unthought through. So in thinking about what would be the best representation for this corner, I do want a gas station scene, probably more than homes. I've got homes all over the layout. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to work before I change my mind again and get this base layer of Sculptamold in, and then we'll keep moving along. Okay, so we're back. So what I've done is I've done the concrete pad, the road that's going to lead up into the gas station, the main one, which is the bigger one, and then this side road here, I'm still trying to debate. It's clearly not going to stay the concrete color. I just did it because I wanted to see what it would look like. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a paved road there or a dirt road, but it will not stay the concrete color. And I just placed the gas station in place, as I'll do throughout this whole section until I have it all scenic up. The building will not be permanently attached. I'll be able to remove it for various different reasons, but it will be stable. No one reaches back on that part of the layout anyway. But here's a close-up of the concrete with the cracks. I think it turned out pretty good, blending it into the wood. This out here is Sculptamold, and then I put plaster over that and took a sharp dental tool or something like that and picked out some of the cracks and then did some weathering. Came up pretty good. Yes, dirty, oily cars and trucks. So we are moving right along. So the next thing, which is one of my favorite, is to start getting some of the ground foam down and make this look a little bit more alive, at least on the edges. So once again, let me get back to some work. And then there was life, green life. So yeah, we're back, and I went ahead and put some grass down and some other vegetation, vines and such in the back panel there, right below the railroad tracks. Grass right here in the corner and over here. I also added a retaining wall, and I'll have to put some bushes in front of that to cover up those seams. And there's a spot right here straight ahead. It's kind of a gray patch with a little bit of dirt there. I'm still debating if I'm going to put some kind of shed or something there. I think it'd be give it some character. So I may do that. So still a little bit more ground cover to add, not much, but then I'll be ready for trees. Also, I'll have to put the pumps out front, put the doors back on the gas station. May do a little bit more touching up on the gas station. But everything is moving right along. Oh, and also over here, remember, I'm going to change this to either a paved road with the gray, or I may make it a dirt road. But it looks like that's going to be an access road for the trucks that are delivering the gasoline, the tank trucks. So we're going to keep pushing forward and try to get this complete. I also am thinking about lighting. There is a light that's provided in the actual gas station, but I'm thinking lights for the actual customers outside, maybe leading up to the gas station. So we'll see. Just kind of playing around with this, but I like the direction it's going. So let me get back to work. So the first thing you'll notice is that I've done some brickwork on the gas station, and this is around the sides as well as the front. The reason I did this was because I wanted a slightly modern look with the gas station. As the gas station comes to you, it actually is probably dated from like the 50s through maybe the late 70s, early 80s. They actually have two different types of pumps that you can use, which on this particular model, I didn't use either of them. It had some other ones that I've added, which we'll show later. But yeah, I wanted to have a slightly modern look, maybe from the 80s through maybe the early 2000s. Just like I said, a slightly modern look. So I thought adding this would help to create that. So what I'll do is I'll take the camera off of the tripod here and just show you what the sides look like with this added brickwork. Here's a look at the right side with the brickwork. A lot of shaving and strategic movement. I actually had the windows out at the time so that I could get those curvatures. Now this is going to sit back, so all of these lines that you may see are not going to be visible when the structure is back on the layout. Let me take you to the other side. And this is the other side of the model. Same thing. Any creases or places where I've cut the brickwork, you won't be able to see those. And let me show you the back. So the back of the structure maintains its original cover or siding. Of course, like I said, this will not even be shown, so there was no need in me putting that paper back there. Not even when I'm doing any footage or recording videos will you necessarily be able to see that. And if you do, it's quite prototypical to have a building with brickwork around the sides and the front and not in the back. You see them all the time. So let me show you what I've done with the interior. Okay, I'm going to try not to be too shaky here. But you have the garage and then you have the store section. So in the garage, I've added some details, workbench, hoist, you know, the car lift, and you know, those details, once again, I guess you will be able to see them, but I probably overdid this a bit, and that's okay. It was fun. Just wanted to see what I could accomplish with that and actually see what it looks like in that location, because I'm starting to do some kind of detail in many of the buildings and structures that I'm making, especially when they're closer to the front of the layout, which this really isn't. So it was probably a bit overdone, but oh well. And then I'll move over to the store section here. Same thing. We've got our cash register and countertop and shelving in the back with goodies and products. Also details you can see on both sides. And I also put some decals on the windows. I'm going to put the tripod down so that you can see the details from 1/48 scale position. Okay, so here's a look at the inside of the garage at ground level. Pretty neat. And as I move over here to the store, or the section where you pay for all your goods, here's what the inside looks like as you're walking in. And here's a look on the right side corner here. So I think it'll probably look pretty good back in the corner that it's going to be in with all of the scenery around it. And so now let's move to another section that I've done, which are the roof pieces. Okay, so here are the two roof pieces. You can see on the right side with the chimney, I continued that brick theme that I had on the actual gas station. But I've added some of this gravel for the top of the roof just to bring a little realism to it, as well as take away from the plastic look of the original roof. And I actually put a couple of layers on and kind of gave it a weathered look. I might do a little dry brushing, we'll see. And I've done the actual lighting, which you can see on under both of them. And that was to create, obviously get lighting. And I'm not an electrician by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm using on most of the layout the Woodland Scenics Just Plug system, which is very friendly to people like me. So I'm gonna put this thing back together and get it in place and see if we can't get an overall picture of this project. All right, so here's the left side of the gas station. Trees have been planted. More bushes have been added down and around the retaining wall and the back of the gas station, along the retaining wall for the upper level. So we've put that in, and you see that space there with the dirt. That's probably where the sign for the gas station is going to go once it's made. So I'm going to pan over here to the other side. Hope don't make you too dizzy. There's the access road, gravel road for all of the, I guess we could use it for bigger vehicles as well as the tankers that'll come up to unload the gas. So we've got that access road there. More trees planted. So this is kind of the view that you'll get coming into the room. It's probably a little bit further back, so it's going to take a little bit more to see the details inside. Like I said, this is probably a bit overdone for where it's going to be on the layout, but I'm happy where it's at right now. We're probably at about, I'm going to say 90% done. As I've stated, I've got to add the sign, I have to add people, and of course, what's a gas station without, you know, what? Cars and vehicles. So we'll add a few of those too, but this allows me to step away for a bit and do other projects on the layout and then come back to do the finishing touches. Sometimes taking your mind away from something and then coming back to it, there's kind of a renewal of enthusiasm and creativity that happens. And that's in a lot of other things, not just modeling, but I use it a lot in my modeling because it takes me a minute to think about where to take everything to the next level, and I have to be fresh. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it was helpful and entertaining to you. And if you like, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're gracious, please go ahead and subscribe to the page so you can get future updates, which I've been regularly doing now, I'm happy to say. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.